Welcome back to the Breakfast with Tedflix podcast. On today's show, we are getting into the top 5 best moments of House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 5, Regent. So without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at our number 5 spot, it has to go to Rhaenyra and Jace planning for Vhagar. So it's at the end of the episode, Rhaenyra and Jace are talking it out, and I actually enjoyed this point because it's like finally he's addressing the elephant in the show, the biggest dragon, Vhagar. What's the strategy for Vhagar? And it's at this point she finally knows that she has to get the other dragons on board. She has to get Sea Smoke. She has to even get the big boys, Vermithor and Silverwing, out from the dark corners of Dragonstone and put them on some kind of riders. And that's setting up a big dragon finale fight. So you know what, I put my hands up. I'm like, fair, you guys are setting up bigger, cooler dragons, bigger, badder dragon fights for the finale. I'm all on board. Cool. I mean, at least Jace was useful for getting the twins bridge and for coming up with this bastard Targaryen idea for them being the riders for these new dragons so that they don't have to risk their lives. So I got to give it up for this scene being at least a top 5 moment. But coming up in our number 4 spot, I'm giving it to Daemon and Caraxes threatening the Brackens. This scene was definitely a highlight because for once, Daemon is outside of the haunted castle. Like finally, he's not tripping balls on whatever juices he's being given. He's actually doing some negotiations, talking to the Brackens, and we get to see Caraxes, and it's definitely very threatening, but these Brackens, they're tough bargainers. They're like, you know what? You'd rather be Lord of Ash and Cinder than to surrender to your dragon. He's like, okay, that's great, but that's still not an answer. So you gonna fight for us or no? Or am I gonna torch you? And I'll be honest, just like Daemon, I did not expect them to just be like, you know what? We accept Dragonfire. I really thought right here they were about to just get full on Dracarys, but then it cuts away and then Daemon's like, I did not expect them to be so willing to die. I was a little caught off guard for a second. I was like, wait, did he just Dracarys them off screen or did he spare them? But then it turns out that he did spare them because he's like, they'd rather burn than kneel. That's actually kind of exactly the men I need. So I thought that was kind of unexpected and interesting. And obviously his armor right here is just like so badass. I just don't know why he has like the dopest armor in the show, but it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. But I thought overall this was a good quality scene. I mean, the armor is dope. We get to see Caraxes, that's cool. I thought they were about to get Dracarys, but they didn't, so that was unexpected. And then this part is pretty rewatchable because you understand what he's saying to him upon rewatches. Even though his plan for committing all these war crimes, it gets him absolutely nowhere and ends up backfiring on him. That actually kind of reinforces my theory about the Ghosts of Future Past when he saw what he thought was Aemon, but it turns out to be himself. So kind of cool that we're seeing that play out in live time right now, that his own worst enemy is himself. So I think that's kind of interesting. So I think that is definitely a solid number 4 scene and definitely the best Daemon scene of the episode. But coming up next in our number 3 spot, I have to give it to Aemond being named Regent over Alicent. So I did think it was kind of hilarious how Alicent is trying to be named Regent, but then all the men around her are just like, yeah, about that. It's got to be Aemond. And then they go to Criston Cole for the final answer, the Hand of the King, which puts the nail in Alicent's coffin per se for being named Regent. And he says reluctantly that Aemond is the next one in line. It has to be him. And then boom, Alicent gets shut down. They're like, yeah, sit down, Alicent. Nice try. We appreciate it, but we're gonna let Aemond take over from here. Yeah. And I just loved how he just nonchalantly goes, picks up the center sphere, looks at her, a little glance, and then he's just ready for business, just standing on business. I love to see it. So all in all, I just thought it was so satisfying to see Alicent just so shook that she got shut down by all these men. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Aemon's been ready for this moment. He's standing on business, and I just love how he's just owning this moment. And he tells him to cut down to rat catchers, and yeah, great first counsel for Aemond being the new regent. Definitely a number 3 spot. But up next in the number 2 spot, I have to give it to Baela talking some sense into Corlys. This is hands down definitely the best written and best acted scene in this episode. It's so rewatchable. Corlys's frustration is like totally justified, but she still finds a way to get through to him, which is, I grieve my grandmother who loved me, but I carry her on with me. I will see Rhaenyra ascend the Iron Throne as Rhaenys wished, as Rhaenys herself should have. That pretty much is what converted him right there. He's like, granddaughter, I'd make you my heir. And then she comes back with the most fire line, literally, which is, I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass to Salt and Sea. And then after that, she hits a mic drop on him and then walks off. I mean, cold. I just love scenes like that. Like, that really means something. After losing your wife, both of your kids, you still find a way to find purpose and to avenge them and to carry on their honor with you. I think that is really powerful stuff. I love the scene. And Baela hitting a mic drop moment on him, and to have Corlys back in the action, that has got to be the number 2 spot without a doubt. But finally, coming in at the number 1 spot, it's got to go to Corlys accepting the hand and Aemond being at the Iron Throne. So yeah, even though it's just a really quick scene with Corlys and then a really quick scene with Aemond, I just love the duality of these 2 new positions going onto the board, if you will, for the new war game that's going to be playing out on the show. And they're definitely both going to have a huge role going forward. At least I hope Corlys is. I know for sure Aemond is. I mean, the foreshadowing with the storm right here, I mean, it's pretty obvious if you can see. He's definitely going to be like a big dark storm coming for Rhaenyra the first chance he gets, without hesitation. And he looks over, we see Helena, and she's like, was it worth the price of burning Aegon? And he's smirking, like, yes, you better bet it was. Oh, dude, mad chills watching this. I was like, that's hands down the top moment. That is going to be it for the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. And if you're somehow new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to chill out and trust in the one who's above. He's got your back when no one else does. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out.